Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us today. As always, Brooke and myself here.
Hello.
Hey, and we have definitely a really interesting, again, and I say that all the time, and I'm sorry about that, but it really is. I mean, every week I think Brooke and I get some really cool information for you guys, and it's so cool to bring it to you. But today's topic is all about dimensions, and we briefly discussed this last week when at the end of last week's show when we were discussing some of the dimensional aspects and and levels at which we get communication, and that's what we were going to talk to you guys about today. This week has been an interesting one because an aspect of dimensions that I feel is so interesting, and we've also kind of covered this, we did cover this before, are the shapes. And Brooke and I have been getting, I specifically had multiple dreams and am continuing to get images implanted in my third eye in the middle of the night that are references to other dimensions and moving throughout them. And Brooke has brought something up that just today that has indicated that she has some people that are getting the very same symbols that we're seeing.
Yeah. And it was pretty much on the same day. So I personally myself have not consciously seen symbols lately. My biggest one was that few months ago with like some major triangle dreams. And we talked about that in our triangle podcast. Actually, my voice was like a robot in that one, so it was hard to understand. But that was my last, and that was a few months ago. But Chris texted me a few days ago. I think it was Friday or Saturday.
Ooh, I want to say it was Friday. Actually, okay, I was thinking Thursday or Friday. But Friday, yeah.
And he was letting me know about these 2 nights in a row that he was kind of like awoken to, one of was like sequence of triangle, square, circle.
Yeah,
and then the next night
squares.
were the triangles within the triangles, 3 of them. And so,
actually, do you mind if I just say exactly what they are so people know? Do you mind that?
Yes.
So the first night I got a triangle, 1 triangle, then 2 squares. It was basically forming a sentence and then a circle. So triangle, square, square, circle. I didn't get any information as to what they are. The second night I got 3 triangles within each other. So it was a larger triangle, a middle-sized triangle, and then a smaller triangle, all within each other. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I did my best to try to like help Chris out and try to like interpret what I thought was going on. I was like, well, the triangle's like ascension, and then are we coming through already, Chris?
I'm paying attention, but I feel it. But go ahead. It's calmed down at the moment.
Well, stop me at any time because I feel like, I don't know, like I know that you could control if you want to, but I feel like we're supposed to let him when he does this.
Yeah, I definitely feel him there and I hear him. I'll let him go for sure. He's definitely there. It is Enoch. He's saying thank you. I'm sorry, guys. They come through with such.
You do not have to apologize.
Yeah. My children, thank you. It is beyond gratefulness, recognition that I am pleased to come to you today, for the symbols are indications of dimensional travel that is so possible to you, and dimensional beings who are presenting these shapes, sizes to you. These dimensional beings are spiritual beings from the light of the light that are attempting to assist in the raising of vibration of all humanity. And it is imperative to understand that dimensional beings are beings of peace and love. Obviously, there are individual beings who carry ulterior motives. However, beings of light are extremely transparent with their intentions, and we encourage great understanding and belief in these individuals, entities, as they interact with all humanity, for they are attempting to raise the vibrations. The energetic shifts that are occurring on this planetary realm are one of great intensity, and the importance that comes with such energy raising of vibrations is essential to the collective rising. For these shapes are a calling, if you will, an understanding that with these shapes comes great power of intensity in the light of the light, to help the conscious level rise even more so, to interact with the other dimensions even more easily, and to begin to ascend as a direct result of them and their use. Spiritual beings are continuously using energetic shifts through the aspect of shapes, symbols, and assisting the collective in its rising collectively. As it is, we are attempting to help all of humanity rise at this time, not just one individual, but it is through the collective, as you all are consciously attempting to rise, that so much more information is capable and susceptible to this planetary realm. For it is through your conscious level and intent that many dimensional beings are coming forth to present themselves to you all in an effort to help rise and relinquish fear. For fear is such an aspect of this collective that is holding back so much of who you are, and it is no longer needed. For we have spoken much about the revelation, the new mindset that is coming to this planetary realm. These symbols are indications of our presence here and the collective rising, which is why we show them to you. As you begin to work with these different dimensional shapes, we are encouraging you to rise with them. They carry great power and energetic vibration that is crucial to humanity. As you move throughout each dimension, an aspect of the symbols can be used or called upon to help maneuver yourself consciously through these dimensions and to allow for the light body to begin to rise even more and come forth to help you and the collective rise. Important to understand, as all this communication is important, my children. There is no need to fear. There is no need to relinquish the aspect of who you truly are. We encourage you all to accept who you truly are as a soul and to allow that soul aspect to maneuver its way through the ascension process. And we are grateful for this message tremendously. It is so beautiful to see all of you and witness all of you as you proceed along this path and become who you truly are meant to be. For you are all aspects of love, and in love there is no fear. And we encourage this to be the true aspect of your focus: love, light, without the idea and representation of fear. It is an important idea to comprehend, and as you maneuver through these different dimensional mindsets, you will begin to understand that fear is no longer needed or required. It is something to be shed and something to be outgrown as you are. And these symbols can be leveraged to assist in this. I keep seeing the triangle, square, square, circle one. For yes, this is an aspect of the ascension process that adds great identity to the individual soul as it maneuvers through, provides a tremendous amount of power, if you will, but maneuverability is really what we are indicating here. Maneuverability through the conscious levels, but the ability to remain high and to choose high vibrational attitudes, mindset that is so imperative as a result of these symbols being leveraged as they are or will be. And we are grateful for the allowance of such communication. We do implore all of you that as you see these symbols, acknowledge their great power and opportunity to begin the communication with beings that are here for your highest and greatest good, and noticement of what they are trying to tell you. As you begin to use them, the interaction between you and others will become more great. And this is a beautiful aspect of the ascension process, for many are here to help you, all of us. Through these dimensional symbols, you will begin to understand on another level the aspects of ascension and your soul's work. go in peace and love and shed those that are not high vibrational. You are beings of love, and love is what is needed as you proceed along. Raise your vibrations and allow for these aptitudes, understandings to begin to develop even more so. And we are truly grateful. Thank you, and enjoy your day.
Ta-da! Well, there's our answer.
Yeah, right? Well, that, and I almost feel like he kind of stole, he kind of like took our whole thunder. I'm like, okay, he just came in and took the show. Like, all right, everything, okay.
Hey, it's his son, you know, yeah, I was going to say, I guess we're just his little, you know,
yeah,
little messengers.
Yeah.
We're just the messengers. So, and that's why I always say, like, you know, we never do this. You know, like my husband uses big words. He says it's called pandering. Look, we never say like, subscribe, this, that, and the other. But here's the thing. Please help us out. This is a message. This is a message that we are trying to get out. So please, if there's anything you can do to help us get this message out, please, please, please. It's not even about us. It's just about the message that we want these things out for everybody to know. Okay.
Yeah.
So enough of the
you be the light. Like,
called.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I was just saying them be the light. So you guys go out and share that message too.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So yes, he pretty much said everything. Now there are a few, I'll go ahead and go back to where we were starting. So that's really cool that he super validated the exact sequence you saw, the triangle, square, square, circle.
Could not get rid of that. Yeah.
So here was the day, I forget where I left off. So Chris texted me in the morning, let me know about these, you know, he explained that. Well, I had not spoke to my brother in a good 3-4 days. And him and I, it's feast or famine. And that night, he just starts blowing up my phone. Like when he gets on a roll, it's on a roll. It's like ding, 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 ding. Like all this, like his brain gets going and all this information starts coming out. Well, that night, he starts blowing me up with things about the triangle and the circle and how the circle is really 3 triangles and how the circle is God. And this, you know, he's just spitting all this stuff out to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like Chris, he doesn't even know that you sent me that. Like he just randomly started sending me this stuff. So, and these days I can't say that anything surprises me. Like I'm not like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this synchronicity is happening. Like these days it's always cool. It's always amazing, but I can't say that I'm like surprised anymore.
Yep.
What was surprising was, so after that, like I said, when it comes to me, Chris, even my brother, like I do have this weird connection. Well, with everybody we do, but with him and I, we are on the same frequency. So what surprised me even more was to be talking to my friend yesterday, and she's like, oh, we were getting ready to part. And she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, I forgot to tell you. She's like, I had the craziest dream the other night. She was like, it was, you know, you and I, and she was like, we were looking at the sky, and all of a sudden, like, she's like, the rainbows were making shapes. And I didn't want to like go, huh? Was it a triangle? Oh, was it a circle? You know, so I was like, huh, that's interesting. They were making shapes, huh? I'm like, well, was it like intricate shapes? Like, I'm already excited inside as I'm trying to like coolly ask her the questions. I was like, was it like intricate shapes or like just basic geometry? She was like, yeah. She's like, I know the first was a triangle. And she's like, and then I remembered you talking about triangles. That's why I was showing it to you. And then she mentioned there being a circle and some other shapes that she wasn't quite sure. But just her saying the triangle and circle, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. So then I get home, and I have like my oldest son, and and I always like run and share this stuff with their little group. And I was telling them this. Well, his girlfriend, Tatiana, she's like, oh my gosh, I just had a dream that I was drawing like a circle on the floor, like in a friend's garage. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, when is this going to stop? This is insane. And like I said, last night I was walking with, and she said I'm allowed to use her name on here, Nova. I was walking with Nova. And
what's up, Nova?
Yeah. And she's like, all right, well now I feel like I have to say something because she's like, I don't want you to think I'm saying it because I'm like, well, no, but you don't lie to me. Like, you're not going to make up stories. And she's like, I know. But she had a dream with me in it the other night. And I forget now if it was based off shapes, but the fact is that as close as her and I are, we don't have dreams of each other often. Like, if rarely. And she hasn't been dreaming a lot at all. And the fact that she even had a dream that I was in it is a big thing, which led me to the ping that you said last time about our guides being able to use other people's portals, elevators.
Yep, the light body portals, yeah. Well, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what I was kind of getting to, was like, I wonder if any of that had to do with like the connection of, because it was all people that, like, because it's like you had these experiences, but did you have like 5 people coming to you and saying the same thing?
So, not, I had one woman come to me, talking to me about symbols, but only one.
Yeah.
Um, and it was interesting because she actually did speak to me about, which I just realized that I got another symbol. So there are multiple symbols that I've been getting over the course of some time now, this past week. And there was a woman that came to me with this. It almost looked like a spinning wheel of, okay, you know how the swastika looks, right?
Yeah.
So she had what looked like that, but there were several. It wasn't just the two. It almost shaped like a wheel. So she came to me with that, and she was curious to know what it meant. And sure enough, I did channel for her, and they discussed it being the symbol of a star. They said it was a star light, and I think she was kind of testing me because she came back to me later and she said, it's interesting that they said it was a star because everything that I looked up says that it is an aspect of the sun, which the sun is a star.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting. And I apologize now, I'm forgetting the actual definition that they gave to me about it. But interesting thing enough is that before she even came to me, I also saw a swastika. And but the meaning of the swastika has obviously been
I was gonna
damaged.
say, I was gonna jump in and be like, hold on, because we probably just triggered, like,
Yeah, yeah,
and I think there are people that are aware of what the swastika actually is, but anybody else, you say that term, and I mean, people are rightfully triggered
totally.
because that symbol was tainted so
Yes,
terribly. But yeah, it's so sad that that was a symbol that was tainted. It's like almost like one of the most powerful symbols in a way was like, it's now hidden. It's almost like
yep,
it's hidden in plain sight, because it's almost like we don't feel like we can use it, and we feel like it's dirty to use it, when the fact is it is one of the most powerful symbols, and he obviously knew that.
yes,
And it represents love, it represents peace, it represents everything wonderful. But with anything powerful and it's just energy, your intent is how you use it.
exactly right.
And that energy doesn't judge. It just, whatever you're using that energy for is the intent. And so clearly he took what he knew was a powerful symbol, but with a bad intent behind it. But
Yep.
it's very, yep, energy wise is very powerful, but it was supposed to be used for good.
Yes. Well, absolutely. And two people in the same week see that symbol, me and this other woman. And actually the message, I did get a message for that one, which is so interesting now that we're talking about it again, is that I got peace, and that symbol is a meaning of peace and help, help and peace.
Help. That's what you were
Yes.
saying.
Yes. And so it was and when I saw it, I felt a sense of peace and calmness when I saw it. So, and it was etched in a sand, in the, on a beach, I'm sorry, it etched in the sand of a beach. So it was beautiful. And I just remembered another one that I saw. Now, this one is interesting, and I totally forgot to tell you. This one I saw, they showed me an eagle, and the eagle had its wings spread, flying full out, and they showed me the outline of the eagle, and then what they did was they actually placed the symbol of like a cross, that T. So you got the 2 points up and down, and then the 2 points horizontally.
Right.
And then the eagle disappeared, and I only saw the shape. So it was interesting how they brought that one to me.
Yeah.
And that one just came last night. So yeah, it's been interesting for sure.
Yeah, and I was like quiet as you were saying that, because you know me, like anytime somebody comes to me, like my first thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help interpret, you know, and then even if I interpret wrong, I'm always glad too, because they'll kind of like things will come to me. So I always like first just try to interpret. So like I was just thinking, of course, the eagle, I'm thinking America, you know what I mean? But yeah, then from that, that's what I got. I got nothing. So, you know, just like I was saying with, and I don't think I'm right on this one, but when Chris first sent me the sequence of the triangle, square, square, circle, my first interpretation was, well, we know that the triangle, we did a whole podcast on that, and it goes much deeper, but the bottom line is that it represents like ascension and the elevator and the going up through the dimensions or going up through the consciousness. And then all I really found on squares, until my brother enlightened me later, all I found on squares was blockages. Well, but that made sense to me, you know, that, okay, we're going through this ascension, you know, we have these blockages. So, you know, Enoch talked about fear a lot. That is huge. That is what is holding us back. And there are so many things that are happening right now in this world that are put there to cause some fear. And there may be more to come, because the more they realize that we are ascending and we are raising our vibration, the more tricks that are going to be thrown our way to keep us in a fear state. Because if we are in fear, we are not in love. And so that is, you know, Enoch said it multiple times. Right now, I know it is so hard, but, you know, do not be afraid. And I don't mean if like you're walking in the grass and a snake jumps out at you and you, I'm not talking about that kind of fear. I'm talking about just the fear of everything. You know, when we fear when our child leaves, you know, to go out somewhere. We fear when our spouse goes to work that they may not come home. We fear so much as human beings. There is nothing to be afraid of. Fear is lies. And
Well,
the opposite of fear is love. You know, and so that's why, you know, it's like I don't even want to keep saying the word fear, but that is just the biggest power play right now that the opposing force is using. And the only way we can battle it is with love, 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 love. If you start feeling 1 ounce of fear, turn it to love.
Well, and what they said there was, if I remember correctly, they brought up the fact that we are souls. All right. So did they bring? I don't know why. That's how I remember it. And that is an aspect of all of this that cannot be overlooked, because if you're a soul first and the whole purpose is your soul and its ascension, the body is just, you know, we have these multiple lifetimes. So we're just here to learn these lessons. And when you can begin to look at things on a soul's perspective and understand that, because they've already talked about it, everything that happens here is agreed upon by the soul to learn that specific lesson, whatever that lesson is. And we, on a human side, if we keep judging and we keep living in fear, then we are not coming from a soul's perspective first. And as we said before, these dimensions have consciousness. And we've brought, I think I told this story where these conscious levels are very well aware of what this third dimensional body is doing. And they are trying to help us. They help us through other people's portals, like Brooke's, like mine, like other people who are doing this work, who are living in love. And when they are coming, when we develop our portals, people that we are close to, and even people that we're not, because they say these ripples go across the world, they begin to use our love, right? How we are raising in love, just like Brooke was saying. When we live in love, we are building ourselves. We are creating our, filling our light body with love. And these portals are being open and spirit is using them. Well, these conscious levels that are associated with each realm are then noticing what we are doing, and they're taking it, they're coming down, they're adjusting to this realm, and then they are taking what they get from us to their prospective soul. So here's an example. And I think I have shared this story before, but it's an interesting story. I was visited 3 nights in a row, 2 women who were coming in and they were moving things in my room. And I was having conversations with them for 3 straight nights. They gave me a message. I went to the person. The woman that received the message confirmed that these 2 women, she does know them because they gave me their name. And she said, but what I don't understand is that they are alive. Well, what happened was I went back, I channeled about it. God came in and said, what is happening is their 4th dimensional soul's connection. So it's that next level up is coming down and taking the love from me that I give to so many people and we give to so many people, is taking it from me and it is giving it to their 3rd dimensional soul to help it rise. Like, the profoundness in that occurrence is huge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I actually was holding my breath there, like towards the end, like listening, like, oh my God, that is so awesome. And it's like, it's almost like what I say when you have like epiphanies and then you kind of sit there and think about them for a second, you're like, but it's kind of like common sense though. Like, that's how you would think, you know what I mean? Like, it makes complete sense.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
As you're saying it, it's like in one way I'm like blown away, like, but I was like, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and talking about us being souls, if everyone realized that that's what we are and that our souls are eternal, what do you have to fear? It's like, if you knew what walked beside you, what was backing you, and the fact that you are already eternal, it's like, I think more people would stand up for things they believe in. I think more people would go to battle for things if they understood that something happens to this body, it's not really a big deal other than the other humans that are here that miss you for a little bit,
Exactly. Yep.
But it's like, our souls are eternal. There is nothing to fear.
Well, oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you were done. My apologies.
No. Yeah. No, I'm done because I feel like I'll go into another ramble. So you go ahead.
Well, I was thinking about this too. So many people that I channel for, it comes in where now I've run into stories and have even read stories where people have crossed over from not natural circumstances. And I'm trying to use high vibrational terms here. So please read through, like, I don't even want to say the words, but you guys get it. When they passed, it was not natural. Well, what's interesting is that even these souls come back and communicate through us to indicate I'm at complete peace and it's all good. Never, ever have I ever experienced a soul that I have channeled for that has said, oh my gosh, I should not have passed there, or that was not what I wanted. Nothing like that. It was just the opposite. They're all indicating good. Now, there have been times where I have channeled for people that have, I'm trying to figure out how to say this, because I have helped spirits. I have like, a spirit might have passed, but then there's an aspect of the spirit that is still trapped here. And I'm sorry that I'm bringing this up. I'm not entirely sure where it's coming from, but those spirits are also looking to rise, and we can even help them. And that helps with this whole transmutation of energy and the shapes and stuff when we can begin to use them. So I hope that you guys are following me. I think I'm getting a little off there, and I'm so sorry about that. But yeah. So anyway, what I really want to get across. Go ahead.
It all ties together. I mean, it's everything is everything. So go ahead.
Yeah. So what I was trying to get across there, my main point is that the dimensions have conscious levels. All right. So that's important to understand. And these conscious levels do work within each of these different dimensional conscious levels that we have. So all the way from 3 to 12. So our conscious levels can communicate with each other, and they do, and they will come down or go up depending on what the choices that we are making. Now, another thing, and they will come down and help or attempt to help you rise. Now, if you are having setbacks and you are filled with a lot of negativity, or you're filled with a lot of hurt or frustration, it is difficult for your dimensional souls to use your light body because you're having these setbacks to come down and help you. So they will leverage yours, other people who are rising. They will leverage those portals to come down and help. Here's another example. I was driving to the beach one day, me and my wife. Interesting too, because we didn't have my kids. My kids were already there. So we're driving down the road, and no kidding, out of nowhere, I am getting flooded with communication from people that I haven't seen or talked to in 25 years. And I'm like, what's happening here? And I'm getting a message, you need to communicate with this person, or please give this person a message. And it's like, I'm getting archangels, I'm getting human spirits, I'm getting flooded. And my wife is next to me going, Chris, I'm not feeling good. Now, she doesn't even know what's going on. I haven't even told her about what is happening at this time. But this is how they will use these portals to help us, these light body portals to help us. So they are definitely trying to get my wife to ascend in this lifetime. Well, my wife, at the exact same time that I'm getting all this communication that she does not know about, is going, something's going on, Chris. I am not feeling good, and it's really bad. That's what she's saying. But I know in my head that it's not. So I immediately go to her and I say, all right, start going through these motions. Start saying these words, start doing this to help her raise her vibration. And I said, as soon as we get to our destination, I'm going to channel, and I'll see what's happening here, because I didn't know exactly at that very moment what was happening. I just knew I was getting a lot of contact. I get to the location and I start to channel. And they said what was happening was, they said, we opened up a portal right in front of you that you could not avoid as you're driving, because obviously I didn't even know it was there. They said, what we were hoping was going to happen, because we are trying to get your wife to ascend, Jen. They said, we knew how you were going to protect her. We already knew that. And this is interesting, because they say all the time, you got to build your spiritual team. It's not just you and your guides. They want you to call in others. So they said, we knew what you were going to do. We knew what you were going to tell her, and we opened the portal. And as we opened that portal and you told her that, she started calling in the entities, Archangel Michael, Jesus Christ, among others. She did that. And then we are now able to help her. So it's almost like a manipulation there, but that's
how I feel about, like, with the people that are surrounding me having these same dreams. Like, I feel like through the energy, like we're like a grid.
Exactly.
There's those of us set up like a grid that they tap into our energetics to use us to reach the other people.
Totally.
So yeah. I mean, it is really cool. And I mean, and they don't have to do this. I mean, they could just say like, you know how hard they work for us? Do you know how much love on the other side they have for us? Like,
the true definition of
our
unconditional.
Jobs are hard. Huh?
The true definition of unconditional love.
Yeah. It's like, we think our jobs are hard. Here's these beings just doing nothing but looking after us and like help, like just wanting to do nothing but unconditionally love us and help us. It's amazing. I was going to jump back to, because we started talking about that sequence of the triangle, square, And I
Yes.
wanted to get to the circle. So, like I said, I started explaining, and I kind of like triangle ascension, and I was seeing the squares as blockages. But then the way I was seeing it was that in the end, that circle, a circle represents wholeness, totality, God. The circle represents God. It represents eternity. It represents. So I was seeing it like okay, ascension, get through these blockages, bam, totality, back to God. Is how I saw them. But then my brother, we said we're all links on the chain, and I feel like my brother just gets this like random information that, and he uses higher terminology, and like I actually need like a link or two down from him to connect me to him sometimes, but he was talking about how the squares are actually like, you do something, there's so many triangles that fit, and when you wrap them around, he was even mentioning like a circle to do with but Enoch did say that we need to start using them. So the only way I know how to use symbols is by simply picturing them. Yep. So I know, like, even with Reiki, it's like I would draw them with my hand, and I still will do the first two I always draw because they're so easy, and I get that. The third one I never fully got down, so I'm just like, but I can picture it. Like, I can't draw it with my finger, but I can picture it, so I'll picture it. So I would say with the triangle and the square and the circle, to use it by simply trying to picture it. Mm-hmm. And then I also jotted down as you were channeling to doodle. So if you look up sacred geometry, you'll see that it's just it's circles, squares, and triangles. And so some people just like to sit and doodle them. So that could probably help call in some energy for you, just even simply drawing them. If you're not a doodler and you can't, you're not sure if you can draw these things, just draw some. Just draw some triangles and see what happens.
Well, another way. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, I had nothing.
So another way actually is that I use is through placing those symbols. When you visualize them, place them on each of your chakras. And what I've read in that one book that I was referencing before from Krista Riza, Galactic Symbols, is so in that book, she says to place them over your chakras. And a good idea is to first place in, like she specifically indicates the triangle. In the triangle, specifically state who you're looking to communicate with. So I kind of keep it a little bit broad. I will say archangels, ascendant masters, but then I will say all light beings and light dimensional beings who are here for my highest and greatest good and walk in God's light. That kind of opens it up a little bit more to really anybody that's here for our highest and greatest good.
Yeah.
And now communicate with me. And I will place that triangle with all who I'm looking for over every one of my chakras. And then I will use the other symbols in different locations. So the swastika one, I really feel, and the cross one, I will put over my crown chakra. And yeah, and that I definitely feel. Well, Krista Riza says that the cross one is a calling to the Pleiadians, I think it is. And then the swastika one, I'm not sure what that is yet. Like, I know Brooke said it's a major.
And the Pleiadians right now are huge players. They are, well, actually, we talked about how the Arcturians are healers.
Yes.
The Pleiadians are also huge healers. And they are one of the big players in helping us right now also.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and that's how, and so thank you, because I wasn't even aware of exactly what they all are here for. I know it's good. I just don't know if it's healing or protection. I don't know those aspects, but that's that's how I use the symbols.
Yeah. And I never thought, the only way I use the symbols in, when I Reiki is I always tend, ever since I had the triangle dream, I always make a triangle with my hands when I'm doing the heart chakra.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I guess why not use them over all of them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So oh, and then, yeah, so the triangle, and then finish off with the circle, because the circle represents completion and totality. So maybe finishing off a Reiki session with the circle.
Yeah, I know. So I've read before that the triangle also amplifies the energy, which, so if you're just looking to, well, you know what, that makes complete sense too, because anytime he was saying, Enoch, that is, that we could use these symbols to traverse these dimensions. So yeah, if we start to use them, no doubt it's going to be amplified, because we are calling in other beings to assist who are going to help us. So I guess
Yeah.
that makes sense. I mean, that's just another way of them, helping us rise. Yeah. So sorry, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we're figuring things out like right now, like as we're talking. But I think that's fine. I mean, we all have this learning process, and we don't just wake up with things. We kind of talk through things. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
But since we were talking about dimensions, and I think like between the last one, this one, I mean, there's always more to be covered. But which brings us to, we're talking about the energies. We're talking about how to use things right now. Right now, there's something called the Lionsgate portal that's open. And all that really is it's a certain planetary alignment. And matter of fact, if you look it up, there's some really cool stuff that goes along with it. Like Orion's belt centers over top of the Giza Strip. Over top of the 3 pyramids, the stars line up with that. So that's a really cool factor. But some of the things that go along with the Lionsgate portal, and honestly, I'm pretty new to understanding it. And like I was just a this year thing. Like, is this like a new? No, it happens every year about this time of year. It runs from like the end of July into about the 12th of August. And what is happening during that time with this planetary alignment is the veil between the dimensions is thinner. And it's a big chance for us to learn. And with this being an extra powerful year, with it being, I mean, they're calling it the Great Awakening. And I have no doubt in my mind that that's exactly what's going on. I mean, I have seen it everywhere. Like, I mean, it's nuts. I mean, that is where we are at. And so this year it seems to be so intense, because I think they're trying to put in so much more energy, kind of to accelerate it. Like, they're trying to accelerate the ascension. But so there's a lot of energy coming in right now. So this week is a great week to try to connect with your guides, and to try to connect with the other side. And apparently, whether you're trying or not, it's like, I'm somebody who's trying. I think my friend Candace is somebody who just the one that had the rainbow dreams. She's really good at life. Like, she just kind of flows with it and goes with it, but she doesn't think too much into things or try very hard into things. She just is who she is. And so it was really cool for her to be experiencing those symbols and rainbows. So that was like really cool, because I'm always trying to do those things, but they don't happen. But a lot of people right now, trying or not, are getting inspired and getting this information. The peak of it is 8/8, which is my daughter's birthday, which is crazy. I'm like, oh my God, was she born through like the peak of, the year that she was born? I know there's a lot of people planning mass meditations because energy is amplified right now through this Lionsgate portal. So there's a lot of people on 8/8 when it peaks, planning mass meditations. So if you find one of those, you want to jump in on it, or you do something yourself that day. But any day before that or after it, like, now is just a great time to be transforming, and there's nothing purposely negative that comes along with it. It's all good. But what happens that seems negative, like I always say, this what happens when energy comes in. When light comes in and energy comes in, light is energy, is if we're already in a negative vibration, it amplifies that negative vibration. If we're already in a positive vibration, it's going to amplify that positive vibration. So try to keep those vibes up throughout this energy coming in. And oh, I have one more thing I wanted to say about it, and then I was gonna like close the Lionsgate door. It was that a lot of people are struggling right now because something that's going on is belief systems are getting broken. There's a lot of things being broken down right now, things that needed to be broken down. That is something else that happens when the Lionsgate is open. Matter of fact, my mom and I the other day, we were sitting in her garage. I talk about her a lot. She's one of my main peeps, you know. Matter of fact, she's somebody who challenges my belief a lot and helps me find the answers. So thank those people who are questioning you because they're actually helping move you forward. So she was just like, I just can't wait for things to go back to normal. And I'm like, what? I was like, well, what is your normal? And like, she was just like, I just, you know, normal, Brooke, like stop with your stuff. Like, I want things to get back to normal. And I'm like, but do you think that our normal was okay? Do you think that, you know, the way we fight with each other over things is okay? Do you think the way that we judge each other is okay? Do you think the way that we work this rat race without time to even think about connecting with God because we're too busy working to pay our bills and to put food on the table, you think that's normal? That's what God wants? That's normal? That's okay? I'm like, no, I don't want to go back to normal. I want all of this to be broken down and rebuilt in the way it should be. And that is what I believe is happening. But, you know, you're always going to have that resistance from the people that just want that normal. And that's okay. That's okay for them. But the rest of us, you know we have to rebuild this in a different way because the life that we've lived up till now is not what was made for us. We were made for so much better. We were made for so much more. We were made for more peace. We were made for more love.
Yep. Yeah. And so your Lionsgate portal, you know, we tend to ask, I completely agree with you. We were made for so much more. And so what we have yet to do though is define like what a portal is. We started out with our dimensions and then Brooke was talking about the Lionsgate portal. These portals are simply tunnels between dimensions and ways for us to maneuver throughout them. So you have different types of portals. You have personal portals, which are our light bodies. Then you have astrological portals, like Brooke was saying with the Lionsgate, and how things are aligning in the astrological planes, which all help us. Then you also have environmental portals, which is something that opened up for me driving the car at one time with my wife. Then you have you also have environmental portals. You have environmental portals throughout this entire world. Sedona, Arizona is basically a portal. Or vortices, vortexes, whatever, however you want to refer to them. But they're basically just like Brooke was saying, they are locations, or it's where that the portal is where the veil begins to thin and we can actually interact with these other portals a little bit better or a little bit more easily. So those are the different portals that we have, the personal, the environmental ones. And you even see there are things out there happening with these portals that are pretty freaking crazy, where just you know what, I'm not even going to go any more onto that aspect of it. I'm just going to say, do some research on portals. There are some things that are happening out there that are pretty crazy, but no accidents. The next thing I wanted to talk about is your ability, as our ability to maneuver mentally through these portals. So how that could look like to you is that all of a sudden you start to, as you rise, right, we are raising our energetic vibration through these light body portals that we are creating. We are thinning the veil of our own personal portal. And when we do that, what is happening is our conscious level can now maneuver through these different dimensions seamlessly. So there are different moments in time when all of a sudden you're going to go, and you guys see it with Brooke and I. What is happening at those moments is our conscious level is changing. It's fluctuating. We are literally moving in different dimensions, and those conscious levels that are associated, and I have tingles all over my body right now. And what is happening is our conscious levels are literally interacting with us at that time. The portals, our conscious level from each dimension is coming down and providing us information, which is why we are saying, like, oh my gosh, I'm getting more information. Oh, we're seamlessly moving around through these portals. But that's what happens. You create your light body, you raise it enough to allow yourself to be understanding of that. And one more thing, right before, also called downloads. Downloads are an aspect of us consciously moving through these different dimensions and the portals that are spinning those veils. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's, I think, well, no, because I was going to say, like, I operate mostly on downloads, but that's not true. And I'm sure that this happens to a lot of people. You're having a conversation with somebody, you know, a friend comes to you, a coworker, and they're kind of looking to you for like some advice or a little bit of help. And I was like, and then you notice that like through conversation, you know, you're talking to them, you think you're saying, you know, you're helping them out a little bit. And then do you ever notice that when you walk away from that conversation, you're like, ooh, that was really good information I just gave there. Like, I didn't even know that I knew that. That's because you tapped into your higher consciousness and were, you know, given that information to give to that person. But that's just like, for me, that's just the easiest example for people to see is like just in a conversation of trying to help somebody, how like sometimes you're giving advice, how these big ideas come in and you're like, wow, I just gave really good advice there, you know. That's a good example of tapping into the to the higher consciousness. Yeah, like as Chris is talking, sometimes I'm sitting here in like just third dimension, or you know, just like I feel like I have nothing to say. Then other times it's like I feel like it's like, oh crap, like I'm going up, or they're coming down, one or the other. You know, I'm either going up or they're coming down because they're giving me something, you know.
Absolutely. And these downloads, they come in so much. So effortlessly. This information just comes out of nowhere, and really, it happens to us so frequently in this show. Brooke, I could see, it's so funny. I could see it on your face, like, oh yeah, she's getting something. Like she's definitely getting some interaction between dimensions. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's what it looks like. Or sometimes I think I did record a download before and put the download onto a podcast, one of the earlier ones that I had. But you'll just be driving and then all of a sudden information will just start coming in. These are your higher self and your portals that are trying to help you rise, and they come in to give you this information. So yeah.
And that is really important, especially just because communication is so open and clear this week through the portal. I mean, up until the 12th, like I said, we're peaking at the 8th. So like Chris was saying, when these downloads come in, it's usually we're doing something. So we say meditate. Meditate doesn't mean that you have to be in your room in black in complete silence, although that's amazing if it is. Meditation can be mowing the grass. That's when I get my downloads. So my husband's like, honey, let me cut the grass. It's hot there. I'm like, no, I have to cut the grass. It's where I get all my downloads. It's because I'm doing something mindless. You know, when you're in the shower, just
you're focused.
It's like you're open for the information. So especially always, but especially this week, give yourselves time to just be open and quiet your mind to see what is going to come in. You know, whether it's, you know, just taking a walk or, you know, drives. I get a lot of stuff on drives. But this week, I'm not going to be surprised to hear so many more encounters. Just some of the websites I'm on, when I hop on a day, I'm just like, oh my gosh, that person too. Oh, that's happening. Or I'll see them mention an experience that I've not had, but I'll read the thread to see all the other people that are having these experiences right now. And it's really cool. I've encountered a lot of people this week with horrible, horrible, horrible stomach aches. And I'm just like, oh, it's okay. Ascension symptoms. These are like some kids going, what is this crazy lady talking about? You know, and I'm like, I'm putting my hands on their stomach and I'm like, feel that in your heart? Like, you feel the love I'm sending? I've been freaking people out all week with this.
I'll have to talk to you about that actually, because I have an experience there. But one last thing I wanted to get in was that our personal portals that we open ourselves for our conscious level to maneuver around them are helped and amplified by different locations throughout this world. And I've been guided to several, and I'm currently guided to another one coming. And Sedona, Arizona one, but then forests, there are these energetic vibration or portals throughout the entire world. Well, what happens, and the Lionsgate one that Brooke was talking about, what happens during them is that our portals are already being built, but the Lionsgate one and others around the world only offer us, or do offer us, tremendous ability to interact even more so with these other dimensions on a level that is much easier than just being in this, you know, dense world. If I'm making sense there, it thins the veil just that much more.
Yes. And oh, you guys, I'm telling you, you have to like Google it and watch a video. The first couple were even the first couple that come up are like really like cool, legit, like the way they explain it, I really liked it. But there's like so much going on with this, just with the pyramids and like the energy they hold and the grid that's set up, and they're set up as the Merkaba. Like it's really cool. It's a really cool thing to like look up and like check out and do a little research on to find out what's going on right now.
And that's what I was talking about when I'm saying like there's just so much out there with portals. That's kind of what I'm alluding to. So yeah, I just didn't, you know, I knew if I brought it up, I wouldn't stop talking.
Yeah, I know there's smaller energetic ones. There's ones that run around the world. It's a lot. It's cool.
Yep. And with that, I'm good.
Yeah, again, like I thought I had all this stuff to say, but I feel like Enoch just does it all for us now.
I'm kind of with you there, but I feel like we do add a tremendous amount.
Yeah, I think we're the link on the chain. We're the dumb it downers.
Yes, I agree with that because I am very simplistic.
Link. Yeah, I think some people. I'm just gonna stop there because I feel like I'm in my lower dimensional brain right now, and I need to get off here and tap into the higher.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much, Brooke. Always. And guys, we love you very much, and we really appreciate you guys. And so always reach out to us if you have any questions. And we're on Facebook, and openenergy.com is the website. So thank you all so much. Enjoy your day and love you all. Thank you and take care.
Yes, love you. Bye.
See you guys. Bye-bye.